Now let's bring in transportation correspondent Jeff Pegues, who joins us from Washington. Jeff, the New York Times report extremely frightening. One pilot left out, another trying to bang the door down. What are you hearing in terms of an explanation about what happened?
Well, listen, if this New York Times report is accurate, this changes the calculus, and I think it changes the nature of what this investigation now becomes. Now this would be, if this report is accurate, an investigation that takes on more aspects of a criminal investigation. So there will be parallel tracks here as investigators try to determine exactly what happened during that flight. But if there was only one pilot in the cockpit at the time, and if the other pilot was banging on the door, this changes the nature of this investigation.
Jeff, it's my understanding that U.S. policy after 9/11 was that when a pilot leaves, someone else has to go in. We don't know about what happened in this particular case. But isn't there any way for the cockpit pilot to override and get back into the cockpit? How is he barred from getting back in?
Well, listen, there are procedures in place. There is a phone on the outside of that cockpit door, which, yes, has been reinforced since 9/11. There is also a keypad on the outside of that door, and then there is a lock on the inside that the pilot on the inside can control. There's a lock position, a normal position. So there are procedures in place should a pilot become, or both pilots, in fact, become incapacitated. And that's what's so curious about this case. What happened up there? If this New York Times report is true, there are so many more questions now about what may have happened in that cockpit between these two pilots. And that's why the data that these investigators are getting from this cockpit voice recorder is so important. But my first thought when I heard this report from the New York Times was how now it is extremely important to find that flight data recorder as well, because you want as much information as you can get your hands on if the nature of this investigation now changes.
Jeff, thanks very much.